Prime Minister Anthony Albanese is set to depart for the United States with a potential first meeting with US President Donald Trump. Albanese is traveling to the US to attend the United Nations General Assembly in New York and is scheduled to join a reception hosted by President Trump, although a bilateral meeting has not been officially confirmed. Australia looks for support from Trump on the nuclear-powered submarine deal under AUKUS, a collaboration between the US, Australia and the UK. Australia will also push for adherence to its free trade agreement with the US, while an $8 billion investment in a Western Australia shipyard has already been made. Still with us on the broadcast is Mr. Ross Feingold. So thank you so much for being patient with us. And I'd like to understand from you what exactly, in fact, how do you foresee this meeting between Donald Trump and, Anthony Albanese panning out? What will be the key highlights in your assessment?
As you indicated, AUKUS is going to be a crucial part of a meeting between the Australian Prime Minister and the United States President. It's such a large and important, from a security perspective, project. It also involves a third country, the United Kingdom. Not only are the amounts of money involved very large, but also the timeline is literally decades. And as has been widely reported, the United States is conducting an internal review of this program. Australia has consistently and publicly said that they are committed to the AUKUS program, and they're waiting for a decision from the United States. And it's very possible that the Trump administration will say, we're committed to this program, but you have to pay more. And that's something that Australia is going to have to confront at the time, if in fact that is the decision of the Trump administration. They have other issues on the bilateral agenda. You mentioned trade and the implementation or possible changes to the free trade agreement. And of course, AUKUS is also part of a joint strategy to deal with China as well. And then there's also the Quad, and whether or not President Trump is going to show the same level of interest in the Quad as President Biden did over the previous few years. That's also an open question at the moment.
Right, absolutely. Of course, we were also, in fact, addressing the fact that Australia will also push for adherence to its free trade agreement with the US, while an $8 billion investment in a Western Australia shipyard has already been made. With regards to, the trade agreement, what exactly do you foresee on that front?
I think like any trade partner, including those that have free trade agreements with the United States already, we think about examples such as Mexico and Canada or South Korea. President Trump has clearly shown a willingness to say, well, I don't like parts of our free trade agreement. I'd like to reopen that. And that's something that Australia just needs to be prepared for. I would say it's inevitable that the United States is going to make additional requests on Australia. And Australia is going to find it very difficult to refuse. This is an important relationship for the United States. I think President Trump knows that. But again, as we've seen with many allies, President Trump is willing to say there's things I don't like in our relationship. And often that is either in defense or it's in trade.
Right, absolutely. With that, I'd like to thank you for joining us on NewsX World, sharing your perspectives with us. Well, this is all the time that we have. We will continue to bring you more updates from around the world. Stay tuned.